In the quiet village of Eldridge, nestled between rolling hills and endless fields of golden wheat, lived a man named Elias, 32 years old. He had spent his entire life in this peaceful yet suffocating place. Mud brick houses lined dusty paths. Children played barefoot in the streets. The air smelled of fresh earth and livestock. But for Elias, this simple beauty had become a cage. He was unemployed, unwanted, a weight on the earth that grew heavier every single day. Once Elias had dreams. As a boy he worked beside his father Harlan on their small farm, planting, harvesting, learning the quiet dignity of honest labor. The soil rewards those who respect it, his father would say, rough hands guiding young fingers through the dirt. But 5 years ago a merciless drought came. The crops died, the well dried. Harlan followed soon after, leaving Elias with debts, memories, and nothing else. Now he wandered the village paths like a ghost. Applied for every small job that appeared, fixing fences, carrying sacks, sweeping the mill. Nothing lasted. The village was shrinking. Young men left. The ones who stayed fought over crumbs. Elias stopped eating properly, slept in fits, avoided eyes that pitied him. One evening he sat on the old bench overlooking the fields as the sun bled orange and purple across the sky. He whispered to the wind, "What's the point?" The next afternoon, walking the main road out of the village, he met a stranger. The man was older, weathered face, simple cloak, worn satchel, steady steps. His name was Marcus, a trader who passed through Eldridge once or twice a year. Marcus saw the defeat in Elias's posture and stopped his cart. "Friend," he called, "you carry the weight of the whole world on your shoulders. Care to share a drink?" Elias accepted the offered canteen. They sat by the roadside. As the cool water touched his dry throat, the words spilled out: the lost farm, the dead father, the endless rejections, the feeling that life had already ended. Marcus listened without interrupting. When Elias finished, the trader spoke quietly. "I've met many men like you in my travels. Villages like this, they're fading. The future isn't here anymore. It's in the cities, streets full of people, factories that never sleep, markets that never close." Elias looked up. He whispered, "The city. I've heard stories. But what would I even do there? I only know how to plant and harvest." Marcus smiled. "That's the secret, Elias. The city doesn't ask where you came from. It only asks what you're willing to do today. Start small. Find work in a factory. Be honest. Work hard." I knew a man who began as a loader. 10 years later he owned 3 warehouses. The first step is the hardest. After that, momentum. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. The words burned inside him. By dawn he had made his choice. He packed everything he owned. 1 extra shirt, his father's old pocket watch, a few coins, and the memory of Marcus's voice. He said goodbye to the empty house, to the fields that no longer fed him, to the grave under the oak tree where Harlan rested. The journey to Metropolis took 3 days of walking and hitchhiking on farmers' carts. With every mile the fear grew, but so did the faint, stubborn flame of hope. Metropolis hit him like a storm. Buildings taller than anything he'd ever imagined. Streets choked with people, horses, carts, and machines. Noise everywhere, smoke, smells of coal and bread and metal and sweat. He found a cheap room in a boarding house run by a gruff man named Victor. Slept on a thin mattress, woke before dawn every day, walked, asked, begged for work, door after door. No experience, too slow. Come back when you know something. His coins disappeared. Doubt whispered louder. Maybe Marcus had been wrong, but Elias refused to break. He remembered his father's hands, remembered the soil, remembered that honest work had meaning even when no one watched. One morning he heard 2 men talking about jobs at the ironworks factory, a huge, roaring place on the edge of the city that built machines for the whole region. He went. At the gate stood Reginald, the hiring foreman, broad shoulders, no patience. "I need work," Elias said. "I'm strong, I'm honest. I'll do whatever you ask." Reginald looked him over. "Loader, dawn to dusk, low pay, long hours, start tomorrow. Don't be late." The next morning Elias arrived in the dark, put on rough overalls, stepped onto the factory floor. Noise crashed over him like a wave, hammers, steam, shouting. The ground shook, heat pressed against his skin. His job was simple and brutal. Unload carts of iron bars, stack crates, feed the hungry machines. By noon his palms bled, his back screamed, his lungs burned from dust. He didn't complain. Among the workers he met Theo, quick-witted, city-born, kind in a rough way. Theo taught him the unspoken rules. Head down, no shortcuts. The owner notices everything. The owner was Mr. Beaumont, 60 years old, built the factory from a single shed with nothing but will and stubbornness. Walked the floor every day, eyes sharp, Missed nothing. Elias worked like his life depended on it, because it did. He never stole minutes. Never passed bad work forward. Never made excuses. Weeks became months. The depression that had lived inside him began to loosen its grip. He ate again, slept deeply, saved every coin he could. One evening he found a mistake in the inventory, a whole shipment short. He could have stayed silent. Instead he told Leonard, the shift supervisor. Leonard checked, found a small theft ring. Beaumont was informed. The next day Beaumont found Elias on the floor. "Integrity like yours is rare," he said. "You've saved us more than money, you've saved trust." Weeks later Elias was promoted. Assistant supervisor, better pay, real responsibility. He led by example, spoke quietly but firmly. Taught the men under him the same values his father taught him. Jealousy came. A worker named Garrett hated seeing the village boy rise. Spread rumors. Then one day, during a critical production run, a machine Elias was responsible for broke down. Someone had loosened a key bolt. Elias could have blamed others. Instead he admitted the oversight. Worked through the night to repair it. Finished the order on time. Beaumont heard, called him in. "You own your mistakes," Beaumont said. "That's what makes a leader." Garrett was let go. Elias was promoted again. Full supervisor. Years passed. Operations manager. Then general manager. Each step earned through sweat, honesty, and refusing to cut corners. When Beaumont grew old and decided to retire, he called Elias into the office. "I built this place," Beaumont said. "Now I want someone who will protect it, someone who remembers what matters. That's you." Elias took the keys. Under his leadership, the factory grew, hired more men, paid better wages, built training programs, sent money back to Eldridge to help the families he'd left behind. He never forgot Marcus. Never forgot the roadside conversation that changed everything. Never forgot the bench overlooking empty fields where he once believed his life was over. Now, standing at the gates of ironworks as the sun rose over the city, Elias looked at the men arriving for the morning shift. Some young, some broken, some carrying the same quiet desperation he once knew. He smiled, because he understood now. One idea, one conversation, one honest day after another. That's all it takes to climb out of the dark. That's all it takes to become the man you were always meant to be.